In this video, I'm going to be showing you one of the filters that has really helped me in my astrophotography, especially with nebulae. One of the biggest problems astrophotographers tend to face is light pollution because a lot of people live in the suburbs doing astrophotography. So a filter like the Optolong L Extreme can really help in terms of nebulae photography or maybe pulling out some nebulae and some galaxies. Here's an example image. Here's my image of the Horsehead Nebula just using this filter. This was an unmodified camera, Sony a7 IV unmodified. It did really well actually, and compared to that, I didn't have any other Horsehead images that were really good with that because you could barely see it at all. It was like so dim. You couldn't see hardly anything out of the Horsehead Nebula without this filter. In order to see the Horsehead Nebula a lot, like without this filter, I'd have to get tons of integration time or at least being in a dark site. Here's another example. Here's the North American Nebula. This image would not be possible without this filter because mainly my camera can't capture all of that in one take, especially not in like a light pollution city. I have to do over multiple nights. Technically also this camera doesn't have the like light gathering ability because it's unmodified to get an image like this without a filter. And so what this filter basically does is block out most of the light pollution and only allows these certain wavelengths of light in. So that way you can capture mostly just the nebulae, and plus it also helps with star shrinking as well. It also shrink the stars and not make them bloat as easy as, you know, a normal DSLR would unmodified. If you want an even better example, well, here is the image of the Veil Nebula I got in a darker site. This is a Bortle 5 with the same exact camera. It wasn't very good, honestly, didn't have any filters. And then this image right here was with the filter, but even in a more light polluted site. This is a Bortle 7, Bortle 8 kind of thing. It was in between. But this filter did a lot better job. I mean, you could see most of Veil Nebula, the eastern and western veil. It looked great. Also, I'd like to inform you, there's another filter out there called the Optolong L Ultimate, and it's a newer filter. It has a narrower bandpass, so only a certain spectrum of light is let in for that filter. It'll be a lot more basically narrow band, meaning like it'll have less light gathering capability, but it'll only gather the stuff you want in the image. It won't gather all the excess light pollution. So if you're in severe light pollution, I definitely recommend investing maybe more in the L Ultimate than this one. So what is this filter really meant for? Well, this filter is mostly meant for nebulae photography. You can use it for galaxies just a little bit, but mostly that's just to pull out the nebulae in the galaxy. Mostly would use HA for that. This is kind of like a combination. This is a color filter, so this is for like all three channels. Whereas an H-alpha filter would just be to pull out nebulae in a galaxy as kind of as an overlay. If you want more content like this, I publish almost every week, so make sure to subscribe. Anyways, until next time, clear skies.